if we could go on. Okay, go ahead and let people in.
Should be on this side of it too?
Yeah. That's better. Saraswati, just tell me when everything's filled up. Everybody who's outside is now inside.
Everyone's inside.
Okay. Okay, so welcome once again to the Matri Satsang of Sri Anandamayi Ma. And we're very happy everyone's here. We have a special edition today, different than usual. I'm actually, Gloria and I, we're actually on the island of Kauai. And right now we are at the beautiful Hindu temple, Shiva temple and ashram. It's a sannyasa ashram, actually. Yeah, it's a monastery here on the island. And so our plane leaves in a few minutes, so I'm going to hand it over to Saraswati and Katya and Renu. But I just wanted to say hello and thank everyone for coming and talk how we usually do about how Ma has said many times no one can even think of her until she first thinks of them. So all of us here have been touched by Ma's grace. We're here only because of Ma's grace. And we're here to learn more about Ma's life, to study her teachings, how they relate to our daily life and how they help our sadhana, and to draw on this inexhaustible household of blessings that Ma holds within her own being. And when we think of Ma, our own inner being wakes up because she is the essence of the perfect pure consciousness of what we really are, not covered by all the veils of ignorance that we have around us. So we think of Ma, we awaken our own being. And also, I always say how we started these satsangs not just to study Ma, but also to have community among ourselves, among people who have been touched by Ma's grace. So we're really building slowly each month by month. I see the same faces and new people, and it's so beautiful to have everyone joining this community. So I have a special treat today. We have with us, we just met by divine accident, our two very dear friends, Harshit and Shobna Parekh. They are from London.
Jai Ma, everyone. Nice to see you all.
Yeah, and they for many years have helped host the Matri Satsang in London, along with Christopher Pegler, who often comes to our satsang here. So they've been carrying on Ma's work in London for many years, and they're dear friends. And every time Swami Gurusharan and I were traveling from India, we would always stay with them. And Harshit and Shobna always cooks us great food and takes us for, and it's so hospitable. So
we were just so blessed to have them.
So they're part of our Matri Satsang community also. So it's very, very nice to have them. And I want to give everyone a quick tour here. Just quickly, I was walking down towards the temple. I can't get far from the Wi-Fi, and then I'll hand everything over to Saraswati. But if you're ever in Kauai, this is a very authentic Shiva temple. And I think you have to make reservations in advance for darshan, but it's just really worth seeing and unbelievably beautiful. I'll get as far as I dare away from the Wi-Fi or by the gift shop. You can see how it's just gorgeous. I think it's as far as I can go. There's a big Nandi. This is a Rudraksha forest, and just absolutely beautiful Shiva temple. And they have all the they do all the pujas in a very correct way, very South Indian way. Okay, so I'm gonna go and have darshan, and then we are off to the airport. So I think a wonderful thing, a part of our growing community is we are having more participation from the people. Our dear Katya is leading the satsangs. Pragya in Boston is reading from her book. Pragya also was not able to join us today because she is moving into the newly opened Anandamayi ashram, which I think will be opened in June in Boston area. So she's busy moving today. So our dear Saraswati is going to be host today, joined of course by our ever faithful Sevak Renu, and also Katya from Portugal will be also participating. So I want to hand this over. So Saraswati, thank you very much for taking the reins, and have a good satsang. Yeah,
Thank you, and safe travels. Om Triambaka.
very good. And when I get through, when Gloria and I get through customs in about an hour or so, I'll try to tune back in and listen and see how things are going. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, everyone. Jai Ma. I gotta figure out how to get out of the mirror. Oh, my phone instead of my computer. Well, carry on, and I will try to figure out how to leave the meeting now.
So, Jema, everyone. My name is Saraswati. I'm here in New York, and we're going to do some introductions. But first, it's always my tradition to do some Vedic mantras just to set the tone, to get us into a more sattvic state. So, if you'll allow me, I'll do some mantras. I'll first do, of course, we always invoke Ganapati or Ganesha first, and then a mantra to Saraswati, and then a Shanti mantra. Really, real brief, just to kind of set the tone. If you know them, you can chant along with me, or you can just take them in. So, Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. Om Ganana Antwa Ganapatikam Havamahe Kavin Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Ana Shranvan Udabasi Dasadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha. Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhir Vajanivati Dinama Vitravatu Ano Devo Prahataf Parvatada Saraswati Yajata Gantu Yagyam Havan Devi Jujushana Gritashi Shagman Nova Chamushati Shronotu Vagdevyai Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Banaktu Sahaviryang Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari. Om Shri Shri Anandamayi Mata Ki Jai. Hi, everyone. So we are here to invoke Ma. We are here today to invoke her presence and to listen to her words. And the goal is to apply them to our life. The intention is to have a place where people whose hearts have been touched by Ma can gather and share. And the first thing we're going to do is introduce ourselves. So my name again is Saraswati. I already introduced myself. I'm joined by Renu. You all know Renu. And she's going to help us go through so that everyone, please give us your name and where you're from. And at the end, we'll do more of a sharing, but this is just so we can introduce ourselves. Go on.
Hey, everyone. So, okay, I'm going to go down the participant list, and everybody can unmute themselves and tell who you are, where you're from. We're going to go down and start with, Katya.
Hello, Jema. This is Katya from Portugal. Very happy to be with you here. Thank you, Jema.
Jema, welcome, Katya. Looking forward to your kirtan in a few.
Yes.
And next we have Bill Ryan.
Hi, Jema. Bill Ryan here from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, Bill.
Jema, welcome, Bill. Next we have David.
So hi, I'm from San Diego. I'm glad to be here.
Jema, welcome. Next we have David Herring. David and Linda, I believe.
Yes, we are David and Linda, and we live in Williamsburg, Virginia. We're going to the event in Virginia this summer that was taking place this summer. Jema, thank you.
Jema.
Hello.
Next we have Frank and Denise. Maybe Hermiston, Oregon, possibly.
Hi everyone, this is Frank and Denise.
Hello.
And we're coming to you from Hermiston, Oregon. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Didn't mean to steal your thunder there, Frank. But yeah, Hermiston, Oregon. Welcome, J-Ma. Helen Moon from Salt Spring Island.
J-Ma, happy to be here. And yes, Salt Spring Island, BC, Canada.
J-Ma, welcome. Next, we have Reed.
Wow, I'm impressed. You got my name right. This is Reed in Berkeley. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
J-Ma, welcome. Okay, next we have Kathleen Kirchner.
Kathleen from New Jersey. Jai Ma, happy to be here to see you all.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
J-Ma, welcome. Next we have Michael Z.
Jema, Michael from Sebastopol, California. Great to be here.
Jai Ma.
J-Ma, welcome. And next we have Pamela Vantras or Vantras.
Hello, Pamela. We see your name. We don't see you. Welcome.
Okay, welcome. And next we have Randy Jordan.
Hello, everyone. This is Randy coming from Western Massachusetts. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. I think Pamela's there now. Hi, Pamela.
Hi, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't know how to unmute myself. This is Pamela in Novato. I'm happy to be with you. I'm a newcomer to your group. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. Welcome, Pamela.
J-Ma, welcome to both Randy and Pamela. And next we have Sanjay.
Jai Ma, this is Sanjay from Wichita. I'm Shivank. Jai Ma. Happy to be here. Thank you.
J-Ma, welcome, Sanjay and Shivank. Always good to see the next gen. Next we have Sarah Anderson from Hawaii.
It's Sarah Anderson in Hawaii. Jai Ma, very happy to be here on the Big Island. Thank you.
Jai Ma, welcome.
Aloha. And Miss Vivian will be next from Asheville.
Hi, Jai Ma. I'm Vivian from Asheville at the moment. But I still live in Nevada, Pamela. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, welcome from Asheville. And finally, last but not least, we have Yana. Aloha.
Jai Ma, Yana from Hilo on the Big Island. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. Hawaii is represented in the house. Wow.
Hey, that's it.
Is that it? Okay,
That's
well,
it.
we always read this passage. So in that tradition, I'd like to read Ma's words. I am ever with each one of you, wherever you happen to be, but your vision is tied down to worldly matters and you have little time to direct your eyes to this body in your thoughts and actions. What can I do? But know it for certain that whatever you do in thought and deed, whether you are near or in distant lands, never escapes my loving attention. Just as it at a flash of torchlight, your faces gleam forth in their bold outlines. All your facial expressions appear in my mind. When you meditate on me or talk about me or sit down to pray to me, for anyone who knows me, I am one with them. For one who wants to know me, I am very near to them. And for one who does not know me, I am a beggar before them. Anyone calling out for God from any land, in any language, and in any age, remember, their cries reach this heart like the waves crashing onto the shores. Jai Ma. I'm so happy to introduce Katya to do our first kirtan, our lovely Om Ma Sharanam. Katya, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It is my purest joy. Thank you.
Anandamayi ma, 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 Anandamayi ma. Anandamayi ma, 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 Anandamayi ma. Om Sharanam, 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 Om Sharanam. Om Sharanam, 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 Om Sharanam. Om Sharanam, 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 Om Sharanam.
One last time all together.
Om Shri Anandamayi Mata Ki Jai.
So beautiful. Katya, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I realized I didn't do the announcements, but I'm gonna tack that on the back end, okay, Renu? We'll go right into the readings. So I'm gonna read from Baiji's book. If you're familiar with it, when I was in Kankal, this was the one book that Swamiji insisted that I take when I left after receiving mantra diksha. So I'm going to read a small portion of this and then a quick small part reading from Matrivani as well. So Baiji. It is beyond our common intelligence to comprehend what Mother stands for and what she is in reality. Though she always says, I am only a senseless daughter of yours, still in all her ways of life, in her ever delightful Leela amongst us, all the powers of the divine find expression in tangible forms. If you look at Mother, you will find in her a perennial fountain of joy and sweetness, though she is surrounded day and night by the noise and hustle and bustle of all classes of people. Her calm and serene looks, her gracious, ever-smiling responses to all queries, her playful humor bring satisfaction and delight to every soul. Her ways of life are so universal and all-embracing that she may be called motherly love incarnate. Some say that she is the supreme goddess of the universe in human form. Some are of the opinion that she has reached perfection through spontaneous psychic evolution without any effort on her part. To us, she appears to be what everybody considers her to be. At the first sight of her, one becomes animated with a religious fervor, even if one happens to be almost impervious to spiritual ideas. In her presence, thoughts of God and his glory flourish with all their brilliance in hearts as dry as dust, and the vibration of one universal, all-pervading life overpower one's heart, as it were, with endless surges like a vast ocean of bliss. When at one time she was asked as to who her preceptor was, or from whom she had her initiation, she remarked, in earlier years, my parents were my guides. In household life, my husband. And now in every situation of life, all men and things of the world are my guru. But know it for certain, the one supreme being is the only guide for all. Shri Shri Anandamayi Mata Ki Jai. And then very briefly, we all know this wonderful book, Matrivani, and I'd like to read just a small portion of this as well. And this is Ma's words. Write to the father some of this little girl's unconventional talk. This small child is ever near her father. The mind's agony, listening to people's talk and speaking, all happens within oneself. Near and far are also but within oneself. You should not only be a sadhaka at the time of your spiritual exercises, albeit everything is contained in everything. The capacity for uninterrupted sadhana is also potentially in oneself. It will be discovered by wise discrimination. One should continuously be immersed in the particular sadhana that will enable one to become possessed of the supreme treasure, which is by its very nature one's own. At all times, it is the self that plays within itself as ego, ahamkara, and as intelligence, buddhi. Use the present with great skill. The one who manifests in the impure actions of the I-ness, he himself also appears in pure action. In order that this may be revealed, intelligence becomes aware of stability in motion, where in the movement of self-action, wise discrimination would realize its own true nature. When this happens, then, in stupidity as well as wisdom, he is recognized, the one who becomes reveals who is. He is infinite and also with end. Towards him, one should try to advance steadily without ever halting, having become free from obstacles and obstructions. When one has entered the stream, any form that is perceived by the purified mind and intelligence may be accepted as an experience on the way to self-awareness. When one has become still, that is to say, when one has become established in a state of tranquility, then the activity of nature, which continues at every moment in sleep and in waking, and is part of the movement of the pilgrimage from birth to death, this and the thinking mind become caught in that stream and eternally remain floating in it, ever to keep the mind poised in the self, wide awake in the current of reality, where the unfathomable, the one without end, is ever revealed in his infinity. This must, with the intensity of an obsession, be your one and constant endeavor. Shri Shri Anandamayi Ma Taki Jai. Jai Ma.
Okay, Ma. Saraswati, we had a question. What was the first book you read from?
Oh, Mother as Revealed to Me by Baiji.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're moving, I guess we're going to go into another kirtan.
Yes.
Is that, yes.
Yes, I think so. So for this second moment of devotional music and song, I will play a beautiful bhajan from Jagjit Singh, inspired. This composition is inspired in his composition, and I added some original parts towards the end. But this beautiful poetry, it's a very simple yet profound one. And the words are Anandamayi, she who is full of bliss, joyful, joy permeated, Chaitanyamayi, full of consciousness, Satyamayi, she who is the truth, Parameshwari, that she is the supreme. So let us sing with all our hearts. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Satyamayi, Parameshwari. 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 Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi,
Satyamayi Parameshwari Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi 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 Satyamayi
Again, so beautiful, Katya. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are going to go into our second reading, and Katya is going to read from Prajna's book. And then after the reading, we will do a short meditation, and then we will have our satsang with questions and answers, and we can share. But we'll have a little meditation after Katya reads. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So I will be reading from the volume 2 of the beautiful, beautiful book written by dearest Lisa Prajna Hallström, Conversations with the Divine Mother, the Gospel of Sri Anandamayi. So this is a beautiful text, a conversation that I have read some days ago, and it touched me profoundly. Ma is talking with some devotees. It was in February in Calcutta, yes, in 1974. So, and she's speaking about how to pray to God and the importance of it. So, here is the conversation, the answer for that question, how to pray to God. Shri Ma, God is present in the form of mantra, akshara, and rupa. Mantra, sacred syllable, and form. It has been proven. He is also present in chanda and banda, beats, poetry, etc. The time that passes by never comes back. Thus, try to break this bondage of life and dedicate your mind to Him. Pray in this way. O Bhagavan, Lord, no matter how much I am in distress and unhappy, let me not forget to chant your name and remember you always. But unfortunately, this does not happen in reality. We usually tend to forget God in good times. try to set aside a special time for God. So, when you are striving to live a life in samsara, the cycle of birth and death, you should always keep Him in your mind. That will help you in your own upliftment. God has given you happiness as well as sadness. These vasanas and kamanas, desires and wishes for worldly things, are also given by God Himself. It is like a cycle. God is always showering His blessings upon you. When you are happy, think that God is making you perform the actions that make you feel happy. When any deed of yours makes you feel sad or disheartened, you can take it that God is signaling for you not to perform those actions. You will get to know all about these according to the state of your mind. Think in this way: O Bhagavan, you are the happiness and sadness of my life. You are here in the form of the tears in my eyes. You have manifested in front of me in the form of distress. Let me feel your presence within me. You see, this body is just a beggar and can beg these things from you. This body begs you all that you pray to God always, in whatever state you are, in whatever form you like. Keep doing whatever you are doing that is working. Try to stop distinguishing between good and bad. All of that will increase the vasanas and kamanas, desires and wishes for worldly things in your mind. Pray to God in this way: I am yours and you are mine. Let me get the feeling of touching you at least once. You are the one in whom I see Ashraya, shelter. Everywhere there is darkness. You have manifested yourself in various forms around me. Do you understand? This is the path that one in Grihastha ashrama, the householder stage of life, should follow. For example, if you are in a hut in the jungle and are thinking about worldly matters and pleasures, your sadhana yajna, spiritual practice, will bear no fruit. Whereas, if you try to make your own home an ashram, it will be like a temple, and you can perform your austerities there. You are all the sons of rishis, seers. The rishis, too, led a grihastha, householder life. They have already set an example for you. Try to follow their lifestyle. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. So beautiful. So in everything that I've done, when I was at the ashram, and then also I was in Pennsylvania, with the Midwest, Sangha, and with Swami Nirgunananda. And in all the way, when we meet, we always take time in Mauna, and Ma spoke about this very frequently. In fact, she says that from 8:45 to 9, one should be in Mauna, one should be focused on God. And so in that light, let's have some meditation. Let's have some silence, some Mauna. So we will take a few minutes in silence. And Renu, do you have the slideshow? And we'll
Yes, I
also
do.
take darshan of Ma. So you can either look at her image or close your eyes and repeat mantra if you have a mantra. Thank you.
Hey, just give me a second while I pull it up. I can't do it at the same time I'm recording, so let me try. Okay, everybody can see, yeah? Okay.
Jema. We would like to open it up to you all to share any questions, comments. If anyone would like to speak, please either raise your hand or just unmute and let us share. And Katya, did you want to, maybe you would like to talk about that reading? It was so beautiful. I enjoyed it so much. Did you want to comment on it, Katya?
I can, yeah. This reading just touched me very much too, because Ma goes into these details that makes all the difference. So when you're happy, sometimes we don't remember, we forget how important it is to be grateful, to be present, and to give thanks to the divine, to Ma, to the existence for that. And sometimes we only remember when we are sad or feeling stressed. Oh, please God, help me. But it's not like that. Gratitude must be a continuous throughout the day, throughout our lives. And as Ma said here, when you are happy, when you are sad, pray to God. Pray. And the praying, it's when we pray with all our heart, with that bhav, that devotion, that attitude, that beautiful attitude, like a tree, our roots deep on the ground, but our branches going to the sky. It's like it reminds me of the tree of life, that prayer continuously. It goes deep inside you, in all your spheres and with all your physical body, energetic, mental, emotional. It permeates everything. And then all of a sudden, prayer is just not something that you do with your mind or your voice or whispering or out loud. It's something that everything in you, it's praying. That's how I feel that maybe Ma is telling us.
Like, in fact, the prayer becomes you, right?
That's it. Yes.
So beautiful. Yes. And does anyone have anything they want to share? I'd love to hear from you.
I had a question about the reading.
Mhm.
At the end, she says something about live as a rishi would, or live a rishi's lifestyle. What does that mean? What is a rishi's lifestyle?
That's a great question, Renu. You know, it's interesting. I recently was reading some commentary, and you know, the rishis are the ones, the knowledge was downloaded, right, to the rishis, and then they were able to share with us the spiritual writings, the spiritual truths. And one of the commentaries that I was reading was that the rishis have personality, you know, that they have personality. In fact, it comes out in the teachings. And I thought that was interesting. And so it's interesting too that Ma is saying that they have a lifestyle, that they are living their lives, and that the download is just, you know, just like us, we can get these downloads and be connected to the word in the same way. I would imagine. Does anyone else want to comment on that? But is that what you were asking? Like, how can we do
Yeah,
that?
no, I get the rishis are the seers, and you know they transmitted things, came through them. But she said very specifically it's live a rishi's lifestyle, so I want to know what that is. I have no clue what.
I have no clue either. I don't think I don't think I can speak for the rishis.
What do
If
we think it
you
is
can,
collectively?
I'd love to hear what they have
I'm
to
just,
say.
I mean,
Go
when I
ahead.
hear it, like
Bill
when I
would
hear,
like to mention
like,
something.
I don't know.
I have read
Yeah,
that
Bill.
most of the rishis were householders. They were married, they had families. The difference between perhaps them living as householders and us living as householders is that they were not attached to the fruits of their actions. So, in other words, they had mastered vairagya, that concept of non-attachment, and so their actions were spontaneously right action. It's much like what Krishna was talking to Arjuna about in the Bhagavad Gita. You know, that you have to perform action, but do it properly. So that's one way I think of it. So we can live as householders. It's not that we're doing different things, it's the way that we're acting and thinking and living in the world. I don't know if that helps.
Like, do what you do, but leave the fruits to me.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
A real practical way is when you wake up in the morning, offer your day to Ma. Offer what you do, how you live your life to Ma. When you go to sleep at night, you can you know, also offer to Ma or ask Ma to forgive you for your shortcomings, right? So these are just ways that we can have a rhythm, the rhythm of vairagya and offering all that we do to God, essentially. And you can do that in the morning, right? You wake up and you say, may this day, you know, may I offer this day and what all I can do, all that I do to Ma, to God.
I love it. Thank you both.
And Ma also said, you are all the sons of rishis. So within us, we all have that seed of compassion, wisdom, detachment, and also equanimity, samatvam. So we can have a material life, a grahasta, householder life, but also dedicated to God. Dedicate all our actions, our possessions, and it's all you, Ma. It's all you, as Saraswati said also. So we all have that seed within us, just waiting to be to be watered and catch the sunlight and everything, so that she can grow beautifully.
We have a hand up. David, go ahead, unmute, ask your question.
This is, can you hear me?
It's a little echoey, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds a little better.
This is just, what's happening?
Somehow we're getting some feedback from you. Not sure how or why, unfortunately.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, a little bit.
So
David, if you turn your speaker down, I don't think you'll get the feedback.
I don't understand that exactly.
The volume listening, if You can turn that
I
down.
turned the volume down. Oops. Is this better? And you can hear me. So
Yeah.
my question is more of an association and interest in hearing what other people might have evoked in them, which is the Holocaust. And there was a Holocaust memorial called Yad Vashem on May the 5th. So it was just a few days ago. 6 million people perished, as we all know. I'm curious as to what that evokes in different people. So thank you.
Ooh.
I guess I can maybe speak to that a little bit. Yeah, like I have a lot of friends whose parents were survivors. I also, when I was younger, had a doctor that I was raised in Brooklyn and lived in an apartment building, and he was our family doctor. And both he and his wife had, well, actually his sister, they had tattoos on their arm. You know, you can't really express the horrors. It's too much to wrap your head around, that so much hatred can exist. Besides so much culture, so much education. And that millions and millions of people suffered. And they're continuing to suffer through the DNA of their children and grandchildren. So everything that we do has lasting impact on future generations. And some things we don't think they have meaning or they have impact, but everything we think and everything we say and every action resonates and reverberates in the universe. And I don't mean to be abstract about this, because it's not abstract. As a Jew, I can't even express really what that brings up for me. But it's a charged subject. That's really all I can say. Very charged.
David, I wonder what your thoughts are and what made you bring it up and how.
So I'm going to turn this again. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Several things. I mean, one is I lost 200 family members in the Holocaust, and I had a cousin who wrote a very famous Holocaust masterpiece. But in addition to that, as Arpita was saying, it's not only the individual practice that we have, but that there are throughout history, not just with Jews, but with all peoples, all of these horrible atrocities that are committed across time and space. And if we have past lives, which I think we do, then both positively and negatively, we have participated in them, you know? And so there is not only a challenge, but just the awareness and practice to take that in and move beyond it in a sense, but be present to it. That's what I think.
I think I appreciate that so much. Actually, you had the best you your comment is so wonderful. And it's interesting that you asked the question and you had this wonderful answer. So I think that the only thing we can do to help the atrocities of this world is to work on ourselves and to purify our very own minds, our very own self. And that's our biggest gift that we can give to the world, is to just purify, 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 and do everything that we can to the science, there's a methodology to working with our minds, and how and to do that, to excavate all the negativity, all the anger, all the kleshas, the negative aspects of our very own self, is the best thing that we can do for the world. So I would 100% agree with you, David, and thank you for sharing that. And I think that's what, oh, go ahead. I see Reed. I saw your
Hi.
hand.
A long time ago, I heard this story about I get nervous talking in front of people, at least in this context, so I'm forgetting what I was trying to say. But it was it's a Zen master, and a student asks him, it's wonderful that we're doing all this meditating and everything, but what about Vietnam? People are being murdered in Vietnam right now. And the Zen master hit him and said, that's why we're meditating.
Ouch.
Well, that's what they do. They strike you when you're meditating. It's part of it's their technique. They walk around, they hit you if you're not in the moment. So.
Well, I think that's similar, in the similar vein, right? That is why we are meditating. That is why we're here in satsang, and every time we come together in satsang, we are purifying. We are doing the work, and we're in communion with the truth, and that is the key. These are deep subjects. Wow. Katya and I are handling it, I think, okay. But I do want to know, I appreciate everyone's input, because and the world is so complicated, and it's so hard, and it's so great that we come together and that we have each other, and that we can be in communion with Ma and remember Ma and find that peace in our love and our devotion for Ma. So thank you. Hi, Arpita.
we came in rather late, so I'm not sure. I expected to see Prajna. I know Mangalananda is, I think, in Hawaii or something.
Yes, and
But
Prajna is moving this weekend.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's important to be on several levels here. One is satsang, meditation, prayer, intention, which is really karma. But it's very important also for us to walk the walk, and not just, because I think sometimes spiritual bypassing is a real danger. People can hide behind spirituality, prayer, groups, personalities, personas. So to be really genuine, you need to be acting, not just escaping, or sometimes people pretend to themselves, not just to others. So it's real important to get real with yourself, and I include myself in that as well.
I think we all could include ourselves. The ego is a pesky little stinker. And I've found that I need to really, I keep a spiritual diary because I can tell myself, oh, I'm doing my meditation, or oh, I'm working on virtues, or oh, I'm doing these things. But I have a notebook and I write down, what am I working on? What virtue am I working on this month? This month for me happens to be mercy. What does mercy mean? It's forgiveness for those that have wronged us in a sense. And so how do I work with that? How do I play with that? And I write in this spiritual journal every day. How is this happening? How am I failing? Where have I done well? And that's because we don't have a guru in body that can keep us sort of keep us in line. I'll tell you that a notebook and being really clear with yourself is a beautiful guru to make sure that that you're practicing, that you're doing the things, that you're doing meditation, that you're doing your japa, that you're doing all those things, and to just keep track. And I think that's been a really helpful for me in my practice. I don't know if anyone else has ways to kind of usurp that ego, because we can tell ourselves we're doing a great job, and maybe we're not. So I'm curious how do you keep track of your sadhana, your practice?
Well, for me, I practice mindfulness and awareness, to be aware of thoughts, of actions, of speech. I'm sure it helps to write it down, to visually go through that physical motion of writing it down. But I don't do that. I just try to be practice mindfulness, and so, like, I remember when I was with Ma one time, she brought to your attention, like, you could be practicing for years and years, and in an instant she brought it to your attention, what you were unconscious of, and brought it into the light. And that really was very powerful. But mindfulness is a way to do that, to just be aware of your own intentions, your own motivations, your own speech. It doesn't mean you're going to 100% be changed, or you're still going to, to say things and maybe do things that that are not really beneficial for your own spiritual welfare and that of others. But at least if you're aware of it, because so many people behave in a way that they're totally unaware of. They're unaware of their own motivation. They hide from themselves. And that's one thing that I'm very grateful for, being with Ma when I was with her. But a person can do that with a lot of practice also. It's just that it happens so quickly when you're in her presence. I don't know, that's what I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Arpita. I'm curious how other people practice. I think sadhana, we don't talk about sadhana too much in these satsangs. And I think that, I think it's important to talk to it, how we practice and how we, oh, I see a hand. I see a clapping. Randy, was that clapping or was that a hand up? I can't tell.
Well, I tried to put a hand, but it clapped. I couldn't find the hand.
Well, we're clapping back. Go ahead.
Well, I like to do a lot of spiritual practices, but one that I've been working on my whole life and have picked up and down, and now I've been doing it pretty consistently. And I find is really valuable is what you're saying, Saraswati, is like at night I do an introspection, and I've heard several of my teachers have talked about how important that is, and one of them was saying that it's like not taking the trash out at night before you go to bed. You don't do your introspection, so you don't even what you've said, thought, and done that was helpful or non-helpful, and the practices that you've done. And I write down the food that I eat, and it's like, it really does feel like when I do that, I'm taking the trash out, I'm giving it to God, I'm giving it to Ma, I'm giving it up, and I'm also being merciful to myself, and I'm asking for help so I can do better. And it just really, I'm a physical therapist, so I do a lot of strengthening and all that, and it really does help that muscle to get toned and strong, and so I love it. And it's really, I feel like the mercifulness is so important to when there's something that I'm doing every day that's harmful, just to keep, just to keep loving that part of myself, and then asking for help, and then how can I do better, pray. And that's a question I have, is how do people deal with that? Because some things I'm just not able to change very quickly that are not serving me. And I just keep asking for help from Ma and Maharaji. I can't do this, I'm doing my best. So it's good. It feels really good to me. I love doing it. And it's a good topic.
Yes, thank you so much. That's great. I think also it's good to have a plan. Not only is it good to reflect but it's also great to have a plan, like what what do you hope to accomplish, right? And I have this little I'm I get a little, sometimes I go a little particular about the way that I do it. And I have X's and O's, like, did I do it or didn't I? And sometimes there can be weeks where it's just, I missed the mark. I missed the mark. I missed the mark. And it can go weeks missing the mark, but that's valuable too, I think. Even when we miss the mark and we're honest with ourselves about missing the mark, that teaches us a lot, I think, as well. So to be merciful. I love that. This has been my month of mercy, right? In May. So talking about merciful is really touching my heart. Thank you.
I'd
Great
say, like, for me, Randy, it's like I have this constant thing that's a trigger for me. And I think, as far as my sadhana goes, I do silent sitting meditation, I do loving kindness meditation, I chant. That's pretty much what I do. And I've been adding like some Tibetan Buddhist stuff lately, but very, very basic, minimal stuff. But I think more importantly is how those practices have affected and how they've changed my reactions. It's not that I don't get angry at the same old things that I get angry at. I think it's the way that it's changed for me is that the intensity of the anger has diminished, and then the duration has diminished. That's my husband. And also my reaction to myself, having more compassion for myself as those reactions are happening within me. It's like, okay, this is just part of being in a body in a human form, is that these kinds of things come up. And so just having the more awareness to weather the storm a little bit, to not add on top of it self-judgment on top of the anger, and then just wait it out in loving awareness as close as I can, as much as I can, and just keep doing that until things drop out. That maybe not every single thing angers me the way it did. Maybe only 60% of them do, or whatever. Over time, I hope that over time it's going to continue to diminish, and just pray to Mahan Maharaji when it gets too overwhelming. And I know, like yesterday, I had a situation where I knew the tsunami of anger was coming, but I was like, okay, there it is. And so I was like, okay, Maharaji, that's for you, because that's too much for me to bear on my own. And I gave it away. And that's what I just try to do as much as I can when I can. And when I can't, then I just be lovingly aware with myself and let it pass. That's how I do it. That helps.
Thanks, Rainu. Frank and Denise, hi.
Hi, so I have a question. When you're talking about, I'm totally new to this whole thing. I used to be a Christian and Catholic, so I'm new to the whole thing. When you talk about satna, sorry, and all of that, how would one I have ADHD and I just fidget all the time. How would one practice that? Like, just do you not bring that to mind? Like, when you're fidgeting, you just kind of let it go and not focus on it, maybe? I don't know.
Well, Ma says that, everyone's sadhana, there's so many, there's as many sadhanas, there's as much practice as there are people. And we have to create the sadhana that works for us. But I think the key, at least in the message from Ma, is to be in communion with God as much as possible. So how does that look for you? Depending on your Ishta Devata, if you're a Christian, if it's just to be in communion with Jesus and to quiet yourself and to draw in your senses as much as possible and be in that communion. And I think, I was just reading Ma, I wish I could find it. She was talking about in Pragna's book, in the book that Katya was reading from, she actually talks about people that are fidgeting and moving around in meditation. And she talks about how it kind of will diminish and things like that. It was a nice little talk, but of course she was very loving about it and very sweet about it. But I think the goal is to just be in communion with your Ishta or your God, or to be in communion with God as much as possible, and to not let your mind be, it's more about the mind, right? And to allow the mind to not be drawn out to those worldly things, but to be in communion with God. Does anyone else have anything they want? Oh, Bill, go ahead, please.
Something that you might think about is the fact that the mind and the breath are very intimately linked. And if a person's breathing is disrupted and unhealthy, then their mind tends to be more active, if you will, and distracted. So many people find that if they start working on some very basic practices to try to create a healthier breathing pattern, that they find that their mind tends to settle down along with that. So it might be something that you'd want to look into, and you could probably find a skilled yoga teacher near where you live that could help you with that. It's just a thought.
Thank you so much for that question, Denise. It's a great question. Sarah.
Sorry, am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Okay. I was just basically going to reiterate what most people have said, especially Renu. I practice a lot of mindfulness throughout the day. A lot of it relates to nature for me because it's very balancing. But then sort of like Renu was saying, at the end of the day, I take whatever I can't do myself and I write it down and I put it on my Ma altar. I'm just like, please take this. Like this part I can't do. Like I can help myself up to a point, and then these other things are just completely out of my control. So it's just another flavor of what everyone has already said. So
Excellent. Does anyone else want to share? We've had a lot of people share, and we have a nice small group, so everyone could share. Anyone else?
Looks like Michael Zeev just popped in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll share something. I have to say that when David mentioned the Holocaust, as a Jew, I did get triggered thinking, because it's been on my mind, the ongoing genocide on this earth, and all of the previous genocides that a lot of people aren't even aware of, and the ongoing genocide of plants and animals that's going on right now. So there's a lot there when you say the word Holocaust. And somebody who's been helpful for me is Thomas Hubel. His work with I think he calls it global social witnessing, which is an incredible program that he's developed for taking in the data that we're experiencing right now through the news media, et cetera, and how to digest that in a spiritually based way. And it's very helpful for the trauma that comes up, like when we get triggered by words, by events. So I just want to put that out there. His last name is Hubl. Another thing I just wanted to make you aware of this book. Maybe some of you know of this book. It's called Mother of the Universe by Lex Hickson. And it's his translation of these Ram Prasad poetry. And Ram Prasad was I believe he was a Bengali poet in like the 16th century or something. And he was very famous in India. And his poems are pure devotion, bhakti devotion to the mother. And I was reading somewhere where Ma's father was one of these traveling singers. He had an incredible voice, and he sang the praises of Mother, and they compared him to Ram Prasad. So when I'm reading, and I love this book, speaking of sadhana, I was reading one poem every morning from this book. So inspiring. And so I just thought it was really interesting, the connection between this bhakti poetry, which is a tradition in Bengal, which was and Ma was like steeped in this, her father and the whole, milieu. So it's just what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. So exciting. I'm going to check out that book. I appreciate that. Thank you, Michael. And David, I see your hands up again.
Openness. Is it better yet?
It's better.
Okay. So there were two thoughts, but thank you very much, Michael. That's touches my heart and is something that I am constantly touched by in my everyday life, with plants, insects, everything, all of life being destroyed, as we know. and how we can be present and act in some affirmative way. The other thing that was interesting in my journey, maybe other people's, is that you have teachers who are corrupt. They're dishonest and they abuse people. I've had several teachers like that, unfortunately, but I think maybe we've all heard about that, and it's I'm not quite sure what that's about, but I guess it's a historical element of all of our journey.
Well, David, you are bringing up some very large, humongous topics that should be brought up, honestly, but are very difficult to grapple with. It's very difficult. I myself have had teachers, unfortunately, you know, I think everybody who lives in the United States and is on this path has dealt with that. It's just everywhere. And it's really hard to understand and to grapple with. And I'm not an expert to be able to speak to that. I don't really, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't think there is much to say on either of those subjects, really. It's just, how do we go on? How do we just go on? How do we continue to stay on the path to, you know, I'm thinking very much about mercy these days, right? To have that merciful heart and to continue on the path. I think that's the key. And I don't know how to do it necessarily, except through practice and through forgiveness of ourselves. Ultimately, I think that's the word. Go ahead, David. I see you wanting to have a conversation, and that's I like this, to have the conversation. Did you want to say something, David?
I want to lower this again. What I think I've learned a little bit is you have to forgive everybody about everything.
Yeah.
Nope. And if you can't do that, you still have to contend with it, you know, and it doesn't mean you let people do horrible things to the earth or to people, but there has to be some way to forgive others for the horrible things that are done day in and day out. So.
Anyone else? We have a few more minutes.
Michael, did you raise your hand again?
No.
Okay. Well, then I just want to quickly say forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for you. So you're not living in a state of conflict over the incident, which is gone and done, over with.
I'd like to say something about, oh, I'm sorry, were you not through?
Go ahead, Army.
No, I was just going to say, forgive yourself for not forgiving. You know, like, just do what you can. I just think of what the Dalai Lama says, and that it helps me. And he said, if you can't love he uses maybe the term enemy, which is a very strong word. But if you can't forgive somebody, just to recognize that everybody just wants to be happy. Everybody just wants to be happy. So we have that commonality. And just as I wish to be happy, so you too wish to be happy. So in the loving kindness meditation that I do, you practice loving kindness with certain phrases, and you also practice it with different categories of people and what they mean to you. So you get to the one where it's the enemy or the difficult person. And if you can't bring yourself to say, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free of suffering, you can say to yourself, just as I wish to be happy, so you too wish to be happy. So to just be able to recognize the commonality that we all share, because we all want to be happy. We all want to have ease of well-being. We all want to be free of suffering. And so that brings this connection with others, especially the difficult person. And I personally have found that to be very helpful as a practice.
Absolutely. And in Ma's words, she says, always keep yourself in a state which is favorable to the contemplation of the divine. Thus will be provided the right sustenance for the mind. In other words, we should always be in a state where God, if we were at the feet of God, how would we want to be? Would we want to be in that state of love, in that state of kindness, or would we want to be in that state of anger, frustration, hate, whatever it is? So it's the idea to always keep yourself in a state which is favorable to the contemplation of the divine, in Ma's words. So anyone else have anything? Yes, go ahead, Reed.
I have a lot of thoughts about the subject, but I think the most important one is to, at least the way that it's come to me to deal with this, is that having a difficult teacher, having dealt with abuse, whether it be from your parents or from a teacher or whatever, I think it's a test, and it's an ongoing test, because every time you remember incidents, the trauma response comes up, and to me, that's the opposite of the openness or communication with God that we're trying to establish. So it's like the world is full of adversity, and it's a huge part of life. It's undeniable. So the question is, how do you deal with it? And can you, I would say, consume it? Can it be transformed? Can that same energy be transformed into something positive? I mean, you see this in Aikido. You see this, Rudy, who was one of my teachers, has a great story about he's in New York, and he gets into an elevator with a group of Black Panthers who were pretty angry. And by the time they hit the bottom floor, they're all laughing with him. And they're all having a great time and sharing this beautiful creative energy. So, yeah, that's about all I can say. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here, it seems to me, we're here to learn to transform. It takes, shit as a fertilizer. What can I say? It's pretty basic, and what gets me is I fail at it most of the time, and I'm getting better. It's a process, moment to moment. That's about all I want to say.
Thank you. David, did you have something else?
Let me just turn this down a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I've had at least 3 lineages and teachers where, for example, Chogyam Trungpa, which many people know, and his Dharma heir, who had AIDS and gave it to his students. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is Kalu Rinpoche, who's a very esteemed Tibetan teacher who had his assistant who he sexually abused for years. Number 3 is the KDK in San Francisco, and the Lama there, who was a monk at the time, abused some woman, including someone I knew, because I confronted him with that. I can go into some other religions, but it's when you have a whole lineage that's infused with this, and then you have people who somehow ignore it. I mean, that are practitioners like 30, 40 years. I mean, I think you can practice the practices and not get tied up in that, but I think they still believe in those people in some purified way, which I have no comprehension for. I mean, I don't understand it, but it's, I know it's around the world anyway, and you know, but those are, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of other stories and other traditions. You know, we can go, whether it's Catholic, Protestantism, Judaism, they all have that, you know, that element. You still have to forgive and so forth, but it is, I mean, it hits you in the face if you're somehow near enough that where you are involved with those practices. I mean, it's a lot.
It is. This time of Kali Yuga is if you look into the world, there's nothing that will bring you joy. And I think it's just yet another reason why it's important to connect with God and to continue to just do the work. What a time. Yeah. You know, it's funny, we going back to the Bhagavad Gita, I think who brought up, I think it was Bill that brought up the Bhagavad Gita. And you know, just to share, I'll share just a little personal story. I am a vegetarian. I work at a humane society, and I run a wildlife hospital. And we are very busy right now. You can only imagine we're taking in about 50 to 60 animals every day. And nearly half are so broken. And by the way, they're broken often by human, you know, they're human, right? They're hit by car, people are spraying pesticides, and, you know, they're getting, and rodenticide and glue traps and all these things, right? And I perform euthanasia. I do euthanasia of about, you know, on a daily basis. And there is nothing I don't want, there's nothing I'd rather do less. But it is my dharma. It is my job to have to alleviate the suffering of these animals. And so, you know, but again, if I'm looking for joy, you know, if I look outside myself for joy or for happiness or for peace or for some sort of understanding, it's never going to be there, right? It's never there. It's always in that reflection. Back to what I said about Ma, again, to create that, to always, what I forgot how I grabbed that quote and I don't have it anymore, but you know, to be searching for that, to be looking for that, not to be looking for our peace in the world in this, during this Kali Yuga, our peace in, you know, all these, you know, teachers, corrupt teachers. I'm, you know, but the other point is that even don't be caught in the illusion, if you have a great teacher, that you get the joy from that in the same way, right? You know, you might have that great teacher and you might think fantastic, and I'm, you know, but again, that's an illusion as well. So I think it's just the practice. Does anyone want to follow up with that? Bill, you were the one that brought up the Bhagavad Gita. Did you want to comment on that before we close?
I agree with everything you said and with what a lot of other folks here have said, that we can't change the external world in an effective way. the only thing we can really change, the only thing we really have control over is to change ourselves from the inside out. So yeah, there is no lasting joy or happiness in the external world. It can only come from inside. And someone mentioned happiness earlier, and that's our birthright. And I find it helpful to remember, to remind myself that through my sadhana, through my practice, I am not creating anything. I am simply remembering what I am. In essence, I am removing the obstacles, the blinders, if you will, that prevent me from recognizing my true nature. So yeah, it's just a question of, like others have said, you just keep working on it. You just keep working on it, and you take 2 steps forward and 1 back, or whatever it is. And we just keep plugging away. And, we make all the effort that we need to. And at some point, the Divine Mother, Ma, is just going to shower us with grace and take us the rest of the way. I mean, we have that guaranteed. So that's my thoughts.
Jai Ma, so beautiful. Thank you all for sharing. This has been a lovely conversation, difficult, but a lovely conversation. And I really appreciate everyone who shared. Thank you so very much. Oh, wait, Michael, did you have something? I see your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to say with the Kali Yuga that something I love that she said was, just because it's the Kali Yuga doesn't mean you can't wake up. You can't be awakened, because all of the yugas are there within this yuga. So there's always the opportunity for awakening in the present moment. So I just like that she said that. That was inspiring to me.
Thank you. I would like to just give a few announcements. On June 23rd, is Renu still here?
Yeah, I just posted the first one.
Oh, you did? Okay, so this is the opening ceremony for the Ma Ashram that Pragnya just moved into the temporary home of the Samat, the Anandamayi Ma Ashram and Temple, in Amherst, Mass. And June 23rd from 1 to 4, we are going to have the opening ceremony. And please let us know if you're going to be there. I'm going to be there. I think Renu's going to be there, right? And anyone else, we'd love to see you. Oh, are you going to be, someone else is going to be there? Randy. Yay.
Oh my goodness, I'll
and
get the A.
Sanjay. Yeah. Okay, good. Great. We'd love to see more of you. I also want to mention, this is a really exciting opportunity, and this is going to be in September. From September 26th to the 30th, we're going to have a mini Sanyam Sapta retreat. This is going to be at the Shivananda Yoga Ranch in the Catskills. Yes, that's Eastern time, Frank. Yeah, and it will be on, I think we will do it on Zoom as well, the opening ceremony. I think that's going to be on Zoom. But this next retreat in the Catskills in September, that's going to be I think it's 4 or 5 days, 5 days, and we're going to have Swami Guru Sharan is going to be there, Mangalananda, Pragnya, and myself. And this is a beautiful place in the Catskills. It's an ashram. There's a number of temples, and we will be coming together in community and practice and for those 5 days. And we're very much looking forward to it. It is, you can register at the Yoga Ranch website. Do we have that on here, Renu? We have that one, right?
Yeah, it's on there. Yep.
You have and you have the website. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Is it?
All
Yeah.
there.
And there's the
Yep.
Shivananda Yoga Ranch website that you can go to and register. We'd love to see you there. This is going to be a real great opportunity to come together and practice over those 5 days. And if anyone has any questions about the Yoga Ranch, I've spent a lot of time there. I'd be happy to answer your questions about that and about the program as well. I think that's it. Is that it? Anything else, Renu? Am I missing anything?
No, that's it. Usually the dedication is the final thing, and
Saraswati,
that's
can you put your email, so just in case we have questions, or do you want us to go through the website or what?
No, I'll put my email. Feel free to email me.
also, if you see in the chat there, for those who aren't into reading the chat, it says here from Yana, info was shared with me regarding the celebration of, Ma's birth date and time. This is the Tithi Puja on May 26th and the 27th this year. Dhyan and Mon from 3:15 to 3:45 a.m. IST, which covers Ma's birth time. So that's some good information for us coming up next weekend, this weekend coming up.
Okay, so one last quick quote from Ma. No evil can ever consume him who cleaves to God's name. What one suffers is in exact keeping with the nature of one's actions. If the flow of God's name is sustained, all work will beget the good. Shri Shri Anandamayi Mata Ki. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Emma.
Also, we can also unmute too and say goodbye if we like. There's not that many of us.
Thank you, Jaima.
Thank you all.
Jaima, thank you.
Thank you.
all. Jaima.
Have a great month, everybody.
Jaima.
Jaima.
Eva,
Jaima.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Jaima, thank you.
Is the person that lives in Nevada, California still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Who's that? Let's see. Oh, okay. Hi.
Pamela. Hi. And what's your name?
Vivian. I also live in Nevada. I live in here in North Carolina, but also in Nevada, California.
Oh, nice. I hope we'll meet.
Thank you, Katya, for your kirtan.
Oh, Katya, so
Beautiful.
good.
So beautiful.
Thank you so much for
And
the
Saraswati-ji.
invitation and everything.
Having
It was
something on
beautiful.
26th, David?
Where?
Oops.
I don't know. Maybe if you look at something, you need to look at it. They're having birthday, Mo's birthday.
I'll
Well, I don't know. 6/27.
Ananda around, has he gone somewhere?
Uncle Anandaji is in Hawaii right now, and he'll be back next time.
Yeah, he said he was going to pop back on, but I guess he didn't.
He was in the air. Was he going to the airport?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Pamela, I'll put my number in the chat if
Okay, I'll look for it. If I can figure out how to do that.